Looks like a really bad accident up here. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's, oh my god. Holy shit. That was really bad. What's going on, guys? I just got back from getting some parts for the MR2. I know a lot of the recent uploads have been about this car, but just bear with me. I'm just trying to get this thing running how I want it to for now, but it's being temperamental. So I also did pass a really bad crash on the way home. Hopefully everyone is all right, but it looked really bad. There was like 2 cars flipped upside down and they're using the jaws of life to get someone out. So hopefully everyone is okay, but that looked really bad. But anyways, I was working on this thing yesterday, trying to turn her up a couple PSI, and everything was going great. I turned it up and it was running just fine. The air fuels were good and I was just cruising, and then after I did a few pulls, I did a couple more, and then it was starting to go lean on me. So I was like, oh shit, and then I went over to PFI since I was out driving it anyway, trying to figure out why it was going lean. I was thinking it was the tune at first because I was messing with it and maybe I messed up the tune, but then we loaded the stock or the original tune back onto it, the one that it made 454 on, and it was still having the same issue. It was starting to go lean under boost, even on the tune I didn't mess with at all. So that tells us that something was wrong, like mechanically with the car. So then we put it on the dyno and we were trying to check everything out, and we found that we were losing fuel pressure under boost, which is not supposed to happen. You're actually supposed to get more fuel pressure under boost. So we checked the fuel pressure regulator just by letting it idle, and we shoved an air hose into the vacuum line and blew into it. Fuel pressure went up, so fuel pressure regulator seems to be good. And then they're also saying it could have been my pump, which that's what I think it is, and that's why I went and got a fuel pump today. But the reason I think it's that is because, first of all, it's an eBay fuel pump, but the main reason is because this relay I have right here to control the pump, I use like super thin wire. I don't know what gauge this is, but it's definitely way too small for the pump that's in there right now, because when I was at PFI, we were checking the fittings on this pump, or these connections right here, and this one right here is the positive that feeds the pump, and I had to put a brand new connector on right here because this was getting so hot that the line started to melt, or the wire started to melt on the outside, and then the connector was like turning brown and like getting holes in it. I'm assuming I hurt the fuel pump by using too small of a wire. They were telling me that if the fuel pump's running and it's pulling more amps than the wire can deliver to it, that it can like burn up the brushes inside the pump and it will never work right after that. And since the wire was like pretty melted up and it's an eBay pump on top of that, I'm assuming the fuel pump is probably going out. There's still a chance it could be something else, but I have a feeling it is the fuel pump. So I went and got this new 380 inline AEM. This one was more than twice the eBay one. This one was like 160 bucks when the eBay one was like $60. So hopefully that one will perform better. I also got a new relay with thicker wiring, and I'm going to be installing that. And while I'm also doing that and under the car, I'm going to clean out the fuel filter, because that could also be a reason why the fuel pressure is dropping if the fuel filter is clogged, because when you run E85 it can clog up the filters a lot faster. So I'm gonna get the old pump ripped out of there and then throw this new one in there and throw the new relay in. And if it still has this issue, at least I will know it's not the pump or wiring. But yeah, I did still want to try to make it to the track today. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it or not. It's already kind of late in the day and the track opens in like half an hour from now, and it's already an hour away, and it's also raining outside, so they might not even open it up for test and tune because of the weather. But I want to at least get this fuel pump changed out and see if anything changes with the fuel pressure, because I want to not be losing fuel pressure under boost. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's definitely dropping.
So I got the old pump out, and as you can see, they're pretty much identical except for the logo. And other than that, there's like really no other difference. But the AEM does have a bigger inlet. So this fitting right here off my eBay one, that went right there. It does not fit into this one because that's a lot bigger. This is a -10 on both sides, and whatever is on this is definitely smaller than -10. So luckily I was able to go get a fitting locally this part store near me had this one. So just screw this guy in, and I'm going to have to grind that flare flat and then just use this O-ring right there, and that should work just fine. But yeah, I went and got that fitting just now. I also got some like butt connectors, or not butt connectors, but just whatever, some ring terminals to crimp onto the wires. But yeah, I'm gonna get that fitting modified and then start installing the new pump. And I also got the filter cleaned out as well. Nothing looked out of the ordinary there. Looked really nice and clean in there still. Okay, so I got everything wired in. I got the relay all done. Fuel pump's back on, fuel filter's back on. All the lines are hooked up, and I already tested it out. And it's making even more fuel pressure than before, so I would assume that's a good sign. Before it was like 60 PSI just before you even started it, and now it was like maybe 65 to 70. It was definitely higher than 60. But I'm gonna go drive it around, go get some gas, because I put all the E85 I had left in this thing in my hatch, so it's really low now. But gonna let it warm up and try to do some pulls, and hopefully it doesn't lean out anymore. So we'll see how she does. All right, so I just filled up, and I'm gonna do a test pull right now. Make sure she stays rich and doesn't go lean. Put the camera on the air fuel. Yes, I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but it was staying in the 11s like it should. So the new pump definitely worked. Before it would just take off, and I would let out right when I'd see 13, but I bet if I stayed in it, it would start to like climb to 14, maybe even 15. It was just running away. So it was definitely the wiring that made that eBay pump go out. I'm almost sure of it. There is a chance that that eBay pump just couldn't keep up once I turned it up a tiny bit, because once I added a couple more PSI of boost, that would raise the fuel pressure just a tiny bit. But I guarantee that once I raised up the boost, and then when the fuel pressure raised up, that the pump had to work just a little bit harder, and those tiny little wires were just not enough. So just to get an idea, this is the wire I was using right here. I mean, this stuff is like tiny. I don't even know why I thought it'd be a good idea to use this. And then this is what I upgraded to. So quite the difference there. And like I said, the old relay, which is in the trunk, the fittings on that thing were definitely fried. I should have filmed that too, but I didn't. So yeah, like the things on these guys, they were completely melted and just falling apart. And the pump actually shut off last night on the dyno because one of the wires came completely undone just because of how hot it got and like just came apart. So it's a good thing I redid all that, and now the car is happy again. The air fuels look good. So I'm just gonna leave it right where it's at. It is on the 450 horsepower tune right now. It's not turned up from where it was like I had it the other night, but it's still plenty fast just like that. So whenever I take it to the track, I'm just gonna leave it at this power level because I know everything works good here. So I'm just gonna leave her where she's at. She seems pretty happy. Bro, you can't get out that way. Dude, what are you doing? You can literally go out the door right there. It's wide open. Do you see this fucking Dragonfly? Look right at the outlet. He's fucking retarded.
Why is it retarded?
He can't get out. He's just been like fucking beating himself into the light for like half an hour.
Dude, I got a butterfly net thing right here.
I'm pretty sure that's mine, isn't it?
Well, it's not mine, yeah.
Yeah, that's mine.
There is one here.
I used to like catch tadpoles with that way back when.
Oh shit, Rick.
Oh, you're caught, you're caught. Let's save the Dragonfly. Get him.
Oh, fuck no. Oh.
You're too short for this. Here, let me do it.
Come here, dipshit.
Oh, get him, get him.
Dude, they're so fast. Oh, he's so fucking mad.
Dude, yeah, he's too dumb to like go lower than this wall right here to get out. Because our garage has like this weird section right here. So he won't go lower than that. Oh, you get him? Aw.
Probably gonna run into me.
Let me see that. I'll swoop him out of there.
Break the light.
Nah, I won't.
It's because you're trying to look through the camera.
I know, it's so hard.
Dipshit.
Here, you take this. I'm gonna get his ass. Oh shit.
Where the hell did he go?
I got him.
Oh
We're good. Gotta keep the force. Keep him in there. Alright, ready for the release?
I'm gonna laugh he flies right back into the garage.
There he goes.
See ya.
Fucking idiot.
Natural selection should just let him die.
Probably. Lucy would have got him. I think I'm gonna use this old eBay pump and turn it into like a super windshield sprayer water gun. If you guys remember when we hooked it up to the van, it'd be so sick if we hooked up a fuel pump to it. I mean, it works pretty good. Dude, even with no fittings on it, it shoots pretty far.
Alright, motherfucker.
Sorry.
Now you gotta clean that shit up.
Look how fucked up the spray is. You see how it's all weird?
Yeah, that's just how they do. That's just how they do.
This still works though. You can use it on something later.
Yup.
But I'm not putting that back on any race car. Fucking eBay pump. So unfortunately, I did not get to take the MR2 to the track today. That fuel pump took a lot longer to install than I thought it would, but there will always be next week. They do the test and tune every Wednesday, so I'm gonna try to make it next week if I can, make sure the car's running good, and there's also a chance Hayden's RX-7 will be ready. He's getting that transmission back, he said hopefully by Friday, so we'll see if he can get that running, and then our buddy Wyatt might come out there as well, and the Integra, if you guys remember him, and then if Charlie gets his traction bar fixed, he'll probably come out as well in the wagon. So we'll see, try to make a track day out of it if we can, but if they're not coming, I'm still gonna try to at least bring the MR2, because I really do wanna see what kind of time it runs at this power level. I'm also not gonna turn it up any more than it is. I'm just gonna leave it on the original 450 tune, because I just don't wanna mess with it. I'll see what she does. She's pretty quick as is, so we'll turn her up later. I still have faith in the eBay pump. It's still probably not a good idea to get eBay pumps if you're going like for a full-blown race car, but if you're not going for like crazy power, these things should work just fine. And I guarantee that if I had a better relay and thicker wiring to start with, that this would have never happened. But I learned my lessons. Well guys, that's gonna be it for tonight. Hayden's grinding on something right now, so it might be a little loud. But sorry for so many videos on the MR2 lately. I've just been trying to get this thing running how I want it to, and she seems to be doing pretty good right now. So now all we can do is wait until next week and take her to the track and see what she does.